All right, welcome. Today we're going to talk about 6 ways to 100K clients. If you've been watching any of my videos, we've been talking a lot about how 100K clients think, why YouTube is the best place for 100K clients. Those videos are all on my channel. But one thing, when I talk about this, know that I am thinking about this stuff a lot. I've been thinking about it for years, and this is the space where I'm going to come to you as fast as possible with what's working, what's working now, what's working in the future, and some of the big ideas that I have right now to help you that I see working with our clients. Um, so you'll see an asterisk here. I had 100K clients asterisk before we get into it. And that's because 100K clients can mean different things to different people. And the reason I put 100K clients is when you get into that range of $70,000 to $100,000, it's a different type of client generally working with you. They might start smaller, but they can go bigger, and they can go much bigger into the millions of dollar range. I think $1 million clients for most people, it's a very small group of people that can really get there. But I think that most people, if they're in $20,000, $30,000 lifetime value of client, they can get to $100,000 per client. What that does is increases profits. You have a better quality of person working with you. They respect your time better. They respect you, and they respect your expertise. So let's go into present mode here. And this is my first time using Miro in one of these. I've been using Lucidchart, so let me know what you think. I can go into different ways, but that's another video why I switched over to Miro. But 100K clients, we're going to talk about how to find them, attract and close, create and grow, 100K sneezers, the K-Story flywheel, and the Epcot method. You guys know I love Disney, so I have a Disney story in there. But those last two, probably the K-Story flywheel is the most powerful, but you need to understand the rest of those. And I don't want to just get you to watch all the video, but I do want you to watch all the video. But the Epcot method is the way I'm going with this with clients. The way I'm actually with our current clients working on this now to help them attract clients in a different way. And I'll get to that last because it's a little more esoteric. And it can be a little woo-woo. But so, there's a lot of different ways. And what you'll find with these is they overlap. So we'll first talk about finding 100K clients. Now, this is generally what we call outbound, right? Outbound. My handwriting needs to get better on the iPad, but this is outbound. We decide on a target, right? And one of the most important things you need to do is make your Dream 100 list. So make your list, and you need to look for these people. The problem with this is you have to develop a relationship, which I've done in the past. But B, you need to be ready for the 100K clients because they're going to think, talk, expect, have different expectations. And if you're not used to talking to them, if you really don't understand them, even if you get a meeting with them, which I've done in the past, I've used the methodologies here myself over the past, in some way, shape, or form, in the past 20 years. I landed 2 huge prospects when I was in commercial real estate that I just wasn't ready for, right? I got them, and I was like, Jojo the circus boy, and just didn't know what to do with it. If you're familiar with Tommy Boy, but it's the fastest way to start getting in front of them. It can be the most difficult way unless you do it the right way. One of the best little pro tip here, one of the best ways to do these, this is why I'm in it, is the video case stories. And I'll tell you a real simple trick. And by the way, if you want this version of it, comment below. I'll send you a link to the group. But video case stories are the absolute best way to get in front of the clients. Why? Because you can say, hey, here's a problem of someone like you. Do you want to know how we solved it? It's as simple as that. And there's a lot of different things that you need to be doing when you go out and find 100K clients because you need to nurture that relationship. And that so that's the fastest way to do it. But you can definitely be using YouTube. And why? Because when we do that, when we use YouTube, we start to attract more of them because we start to feed YouTube saying, hey, I'm sending these videos to people I want to be in front of. YouTube knows, right? YouTube has 65 million plus points of data. And I think that's a stat I saw. Most stats are made up anyways. But the point being is they have just ridiculous amounts of data and the algorithm knows. So when you feed the algorithm, it's going to more likely show that to more people like that. So sending those video case stories via YouTube also does something else. It will follow up with people. So it builds that authority. And not only will it feed the algorithm, but it's also shows you exist someplace else, right? And most people spend time on YouTube. And it's a lot easier to get someone to go, oh, hey, watch this YouTube video I made, than go, hey, go over to my website and watch this video. They might watch a minute or two on your website. They'll watch 5, 6, 7, 10 minutes of a good video, especially if you're answering $1 million questions, which we'll talk about later. So next up, attract and close. This is where you answer the $1 million questions. What are those questions that they would pay that are worth $1 million to the questions, to those people? You can attract them through YouTube ads, but also you need to move them down a line. So you can't have just pure information. You need to attract them with very specific things to them, right? Because for example, if you want to attract Jaguar owners, right? You're not putting, in general, you're not putting things on how to change your own tire, right? You're not putting things on how to change a Honda tire. But if you are putting content that attracts Jaguar owners, you're going to attract everyone else. So that's an important part about this. So you need to explain to them the process, like what's the best way to save money, things that they would ask. And this is where, once again, the video case story process of really getting to know your client, their journey, and their questions, and interviewing them, you'll find those $1 million questions. And when you walk through the journey, you will get to know that. So you attract those people by answering those questions, feeding the monster. So, but the biggest one you can do is answer $1 million questions. $1 million questions, right, folks? Answer those $1 million questions. They have a lot of them. And I'm not going to share my clients' $1 million questions. We always find them. But that's the simplest way. And one of the best questions they have is, do you know my problem? And have you helped someone like me? Once again, this comes back to video case stories, right? Video case stories fit in there. And I'm not just trying to sell you on the fact that, I run a company called videocasestory.com. I want you to get this mindset that they fit everywhere in what we're doing. So next up is creating and growing. Create and grow really great clients. So you can create or grow. By growing, that means you get them you get to work them on something very small to start out, right? So you start with small dollars, and then you grow to something bigger, and then something bigger, where you become trusted advisor. So that you're moving them down the cycle. And this is where process videos become really important, because they can say, hey, if I start here something small, what we call the foot in the door, in my no selling sales process, I talk a lot about this, because especially in consultative sales, you need to start with something small and move into something big. So we can grow those clients, but we can also create them. And what does that mean? That means that you might get someone, I've done this with a lot of our clients, where they're early on, but you can educate them using YouTube, right? Both of these things, YouTube's the best place to do it. You grow them by educating them on all the different processes, keep them that use YouTube videos in front of them, like I'm doing here with my clients. But you also you can create them. So you start someone small. I probably like 40% of my clients started as smaller companies because of the marketing, because of what we've done for them, because of educating them on other things too, via YouTube, via videos, via emails. They've grown their business. Now, this doesn't work for every business, but you can, in many, many businesses, help people out. Insurance, right? Financial planning. You get in early with them and you can grow them. Now, the issue with that is you're going to you're not going to get the big profit, the 100K clients right away. But over the course of time, all of a sudden these become $500,000, $600,000, $700,000 clients because they'll stay with you for 10 years. Most of these people will be loyal to you because you're the absolute trusted advisor. And this can happen in almost every B2B industry, especially like digital agencies. This is a great thing to do. This is great too, especially if you're starting out and you're not an expert right now, or if you have a lot of 100K clients, like I do, I have a lot of big clients, and I want to help some more people. And that's why I'm doing more of these videos. That's why I'm doing the workshops. That's why we started the Best Storyteller Wins community, is because of I want to help more people. And I know some of them will grow, but not all of them. But some of them will grow into those 100K bigger clients. I love that. That's exciting to me. Now, another one too that a lot of people don't think about is the 100K sneezers. This is where there's going to be some clients that just never grow. They might not even become clients, but they become watchers of your content, viewers of your content. They become part of your community and they recommend you. I have a few of these, right? That literally, I can think of a few right off the base that, spent very little money with us, but they've generated hundreds of thousands of dollars of business because I've stayed in front of them. I create content that helps them, engages them, and keep that relationship open. So they will, you get one person, and maybe they're worth $100, but then they get you a bunch of 100K clients. Now, finding those is a little more difficult, but the way to empower them is through a YouTube channel and through video case stories. Why are video case stories so important for these 100K sneezers, right? And by the way, the sneezers thing comes from Malcolm Gladwell. He talks about people that just naturally refer people. They're just natural referral sources. We all know them, but you empower them through case stories. Why? Because it gives them something to talk about when they're out. I was just out with my family, when I was talking about one of my clients who landed a huge client, and I was talking about the story of it, right? I could have, and I could have talked about the millions of dollars. I could have talked about all the technical aspects, but I know that stuff, but most people won't. But they will tell the story. And if you tell great stories to the 100K sneezers, they're going to retell those stories. And people will say, this is the best thing. This is what I love about video case stories is when they say, I want that. That's when you know you've got a great video case story. Someone sees it and goes, I want that. It's so powerful. Now that we're on top of video case stories, once again, there's tons of other videos. I'm just focusing on these because they're the highest leverage. But the case story flywheel is a whole different ball of wax, right? But if you really look at this, the case story flywheel is the one way that almost every well-known, large specialist company grows. What does it mean? It's pretty simple. It's a simple but not necessarily easy concept. You get a small client, right? You do something great for them. You do something great. And then next up, what do? You document the process. So that's the video case story process. You collect their case story, and then as you collect it, you realize, hey, what was the most valuable thing to them? What are their $1 million questions that they have, right? What are the $1 million questions? We're analyzing this. What is the process? What is the essential part of the process? And then we document that video case story, and then we use that video case story to do two things. First of all, we use it to attract a bigger client, but also to hone our processes, create more content around those processes. And when we do this, we become more profitable because we're doing more of what we already do, developing the systems. We're getting better at the most valuable piece, getting faster results, bigger results for our clients, but also doing less work. Because there's a lot of work that we do in our businesses that is not necessary to the process. It is not necessary to getting those big results, right? I think of, what if the heart surgeon, right? The heart surgeon or brain surgeon, they're not doing every part of the testing and analysis and everything around finding someone that needs heart surgery or brain surgery. No, they're just known for this one action, and there's some testing around and stuff, but most people do all that other stuff. But they've eliminated everything, but they also get the big dollars. And they're doing what they love. So the Case Story Flywheel, if you're interested in that, make sure you're subscribed, because I'm going to do a couple of videos on the Case Story Flywheel. If you're watching this later on, it's probably on the channel somewhere. You can probably Google it. Hopefully that will show up. But it's probably the most powerful way to build a business, because you're looking into duplicating clients, right? Growing them, finding bigger and bigger clients while helping your processes, creating more content around it, documenting the journey. And if we look at almost every business, right? I mean, I come back to Apple, right? Small clients spending a little bit, bigger amounts, till people are completely like me. I look around, I'm like, I'm definitely $1 million Apple client. Spent between my company and everything over the past 2 decades, spent millions of dollars with Apple. Most service-based businesses are this way too. They start with a small client, and then they grow, and they get more results, and they get better and better. I think my friend Jason Swank, when he first started his mastermind, it was a few $100s a month, and now it's a few $1,000s a month, because of getting the results, getting better, and he's working less. And definitely the YouTube channel is critical to the Case Story Flywheel. But if you just use the case stories, you would win. And the final method is the one I'm working on the most, is the Epcot method. The Epcot method is something that I've thought about for a while. And why do I call it that? Well, when Walt got to a certain point, he never saw Epcot actually built, but he drew it and he envisioned it. And he not only envisioned what Epcot would look like, he imagined how people would live there and how it would transform their lives and how they would work there and how businesses would be interlinked. And he created this vision for individuals, what their life was going to be like after he created Epcot. So it's a case story vision, right? It's a case story vision, a big vision that obviously, we think about Epcot, how many millions of dollars it makes every single day. When you talk about a $100,000 client, I actually was visiting with my friend yesterday who's a $100,000 Disney client. He spends easily $30,000 a year with Disney. And I was in Club 33, and that's surrounded by those people that spend that much money. Now, was that Walt's dream? No, but it is. It's a case story future. So how are we going to implement this? Is if you right now don't have 100K clients, or you want a bigger type of client, or you want a certain type of client, what is their story? Tell the story of that person. And the way you're going to get better at it is by using things like the Case Story Tackle Box, by collecting your stories, using the Case Story Flywheel. But if you can tell the story of how you're going to help someone and really create that vision and really understand who that person is, you're going to create a business and how it serves you too, right? You're going to create a business that you love. And you're going to leapfrog a lot of this stuff. Now, that it is I think you cannot get there without going here first. You need to do this first before you can get into the Epcot method, right? The Epcot method of the case story driven process, like designing this future, these future stories of what's going to happen. Because you need to be able to talk to them. You need to be able to create and grow, you need to be able to find your referral sources in the sneezers. But all of this together works together really in the community is what I'm talking about more and more is you should have each of these in place in some way, shape, or form. Now, you can't obviously do these all at once, but if you're sick of like sitting, if you're just stuck in this hunter mode, or you're hoping that your marketing is going to work, right? And it keeps kind of stuttering along, or you're creating and growing, but it's not happening fast enough. You don't have great referral sources you've empowered. If you combine all these methods together, and that's what we do with the YouTube methodology, the 100K YouTube methodology, is we're combining all these together. I'm going to talk more and more about that and how they work together. In the next few videos, I'll be talking about 100K sneezers and case story flywheel. But I want you to realize this, that you need to pick one of these, work on it, and get better at it, get it going, and then move to the next one. All right, if you have any questions, comments, let me know how you'd like Miro. If you hate my handwriting, if you want this, let me know below. And if you want to be added to the waitlist when we reopen, next time I open the Best Storyteller Wins community, where we'll talk about all of this, and you can join us, just comment waitlist, and I'll put you on there. All right, thank you very much, and thanks for taking me on your journey.